So, I did this thing last year called Favorite Anime April, where I made a bunch of videos about some of my favorite series in the month of April. Pretty self-explanatory, and that was fun, so I'm gonna do it again. Got a problem with that? Well, too bad, it's my channel, I can do whatever I want. So, let's kick this off with a series that I knew I liked going in, but honestly underestimated how much that would be the case. Cells at Work. It's a rare example of where I am fully aware that it isn't a fantastic show, and I'm also not going to go out of my way to convince somebody else that it is. By that, I mean it's not like there's an exceptionally animated segment or astonishing character development that I can single out as a reason for my enjoyment, and then subsequently try to hook others with that same example. And to add to that, it really doesn't have much in the way of themes or an overarching narrative even. With each episode being almost entirely episodic, I completely understand why somebody might get bored or at the very least begin to feel like it's repetitive. That even applied to me sometimes. And yet, as soon as I hear that opening, I get the dumbest smile on my face. So I'm gonna do my best to try and explain why. Putting this show under the microscope, it's not very difficult to dissect. Each episode we're following either red or white blood cell, sometimes both, and there's normally a new pathogen or condition introduced that then serves as the main conflict. Occasionally, we'll be greeted with a new cell as well, and typically the conflict is resolved by the end of just one episode. It's a fun setup with plenty of room for variation, as there are about 200 different distinct cell types in the human body, and according to Google, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,400 human pathogens? I was probably better off not knowing that. I feel like I should disinfect my keyboard now. And microphone. And skin. Anyway, as I said, the setup is simple and the characters go through what could be considered at most a small amount of development throughout the entire show. And yet, I was incredibly excited when I found out the series is going to be getting a season 2. Because before I was super into anime, back when I was a pure nerd in elementary and middle school, I was, and still am actually, really into biology. It was one of those subjects that I never struggled with in school. Everything just kinda stuck and I enjoyed learning about it. It's possible those influenced each other somewhat. But fast forward to the summer of 2018. Cells at Work premiered, and I was instantly inundated with feelings of nostalgia and just pure joy. I think I watched that first episode at least 3 times before the second one came out. It was just so much fun to see the subject matter I had always enjoyed come to life in such a vibrant and entertaining way, tackling, in some cases, very real and complex scientific concepts with a lighthearted tone and well-designed cast of characters without holding the hand of the audience too much. This is especially true of the background elements and other bits that are never explicitly explained, yet still are scientifically accurate. If you'd like more explanation about what some of those are, I refer you to my last video on the show. But needless to say, that only increased my overall love for the series. I tend to skew more towards being a detail-oriented person than a big-picture one, so the fact that effort was put in on that level was great to see. And that's what it boils down to really, just a series that felt like it was tailor-made for my enjoyment. Is it jumping all the way to the top of my list of favorites? No, not quite, but it's proof positive, for me at least, that a story doesn't have to be wholly captivating or the characters extremely compelling for me to still love a show. Sometimes a fun premise that you can relate to is plenty. It was for me with Cells at Work, and I'd wager you probably have a series near and dear to you as well in the same vein. So if that's the case, feel free to let me know down below. And feel free to let me know any of your other thoughts as well. Anything in the spring 2019 season that seems good or you want me to cover? Also, I'm thinking about bringing back the number of words for seasonal anime stuff, so feel free to let me know what you think about that too. Thank you as always for watching though, and an especially big thanks goes out to my awesome patrons, HinikuHou, OverjoyedSoup, MVPino, James Morton, Marbled Ranger, Spudge, Beorn, and everyone else whose support helps make videos like these possible. Links to that Patreon if you'd like to join them, my shirts, and everything else are either down below or on the screen right now. Leave a like and click that bell icon to keep up to date, follow me on Twitter, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time.